Are we gonna get feedback? Maybe you should lower your volume while I.
Yeah, cause just you can just turn just turn one on.
Attention all units, prepare for special announcement. It is with great pride that today, January 28, 2021, at 1500 hours, we announce the retirement of two of Belleville's bravest, Deputy Chief Timothy Buckley and Deputy Chief Martin Lutz. We need to congratulate you on your last day of a distinguished career of 30 years with the Belleville Fire Department. Your dedication to the department has been. We salute you for all you have done to protect the firefighters of this department and the citizens of the township. We wish you the very best in your retirement. It has been an honor to have served you. You will always be a member of the Fire Department family. Headquarters calling Deputy 1.
Deputy 1, receive.
Headquarters calling Deputy 2.
Deputy 2, come in.
Reached the finish line of service. You are now available. Good luck and God bless.
Deputy 1, I can't thank you all enough for all the memories. It's been a great ride. Love everyone. Deputy 1 signing off.
Deputy 2 to headquarters. It's been a pleasure and an honor serving the last 30 years. Deputy 2, badge 100, signing off. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Congratulations.
get started, I'd just like to acknowledge some of the dignitaries who came to see the regular team off today. We have Township Manager Anthony Iacono, Councilman Steve Lavelle, Councilman Thomas Graziano. We have chiefs from some surrounding departments. We have Bloomfield Fire Chief Lou Venezia, Kearney Fire Chief Joe Mastandria, retired Kearney Fire Chief Steve Bill, retired Milburn Fire Chief Michael Roberts, Hanover Township Fire Chief Chad DiGregorio, and Irvington Fire Chief Antonio Garay. Gary. We have New Jersey Deputy Battalion Chiefs Association President Charlie Lynn. From the Belleville Fire Department, we have our Secretary, Gina Lombardi, Fire Chaplain, Father Don, retired Deputy Chief Tom Sabara, retired Deputy Chief George Penalino, and retired Battalion Chief Anthony DeBerto. Thank you all for attending today. We're going to say a few words. If you can just kind of remain where you are and have Father Brian come up first.
I know the fire department will not be the same without Deputy 1 and Deputy 2, but I know that in their hearts, Timothy and Marty will always be part of this firehouse and of this department. So let us pray to the Lord that He may watch over them and guide them as they now enter into their retirement. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, amen. Father in heaven, we give you thanks. You are the Father of everything that is good, that is beautiful. We ask you that you watch over these brothers of ours as now they enter into this new phase in their lives. Help them always see that there's always much more joy and happiness in giving and in receiving, and so that what they have always accomplished as members of this fire department, they may continue also in their retirement to put the safety and the welfare and well-being of others ahead of their own. Give them good health, watch over them from all the snares of the devil, both physical and spiritual, and grant them a long, happy life together with their families in order to be able to give you thankful praise. We ask this blessing for them and their loved ones in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. And because you are firefighters, you get rosary beads that are red like your trucks.
Thank you, Father. This time, I'd like to call Councilman Graziano. Say a few words.
Wow, what can we say? Where did the time go, guys? I mean, going back to school, for those who don't know, I'm a little older than these guys, but we went to school together. I wrestled through school with Tim Buckley, and later in life, rode motorcycles, went to bars with Marty, had a great time. But with all that said, I personally want to congratulate you on your 30 years, your retirement, and your next chapter in your life. I really, really do. I mean, you guys dedicated your life to Belleville, and I know I do appreciate it as well as others in this town. I just ask a few things. Stay safe, stay healthy, and don't forget where you came from, because I know you guys will never do that. Congratulations. To that, I also want to take a moment here to congratulate Deputy Chief Kavanaugh and Deputy Chief Wentworth on their new endeavor in Belleville. We wish you the best of luck. You got some big shoes to fill, but congratulations, and you're going to do a great job. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, I'd like to call Councilman Lavelle. Say a few words.
So before I get too emotional, I want to congratulate you guys. God bless you, keep you safe, enjoy your time. I don't know if I'll ever retire. I'm having too much fun doing what I'm doing right now. I'm not on the council. So Tim, some of my earliest memories, and I'm talking about when I was 5, 6 years old, were in William Street Firehouse with your dad, testing tubes in the basement of William Street Firehouse. And for those of you who don't know, tubes were what they used in the radios at that time. So today we have all this high technology, all this other really cool stuff. And I don't even know what to think about, but I appreciate what you guys have done. I appreciate, I got to see your dad retire, I got to see you retire. That's a great thing. And to the new deputy chiefs, God bless you, keep you safe. Thank you all for your service, and I mean all of you for your service. This is a crazy time, a scary time, and you guys really stood up. So God bless you, keep you safe. Thanks a lot.
Next up, we have Town Manager Anthony Alcon.
You guys can hear me back there, right? I'd rather do it this way. This is actually my 3rd or 4th time I had the opportunity to say something nice and to thank both Marty and Tim, running out of things to say. But on a serious note, I echo what Deputy Mayor Graziano says, and certainly what was said by Councilmember Bell. It's easy to take things for granted. It's easy to possibly not show your appreciation of what is done every day. But I can tell you that during these last 11 months, our OEM team, which Marty was our leader and Tim was one of the deputy OEM coordinators, every Thursday, just about every Thursday for the last 11 months, I had the opportunity of working very closely with both men. And what I admire both of them is there was never one call without them basically making sure the community was our priority. And what was also very, very rewarding to me is that they always reported on every single firefighter, and the concern of each and every one of you and your families was a concern that they brought up on every call. And I admired that about those two guys, because I realized where their heart was from day one, and working with them for the past 11 months, I really got to know them and really appreciate that. So again, as another parting words, I appreciate the time that I had to work with both of you. It was really good. To Deputy Chief Cavanaugh and Deputy Chief Weber, I too congratulate you. And as there's a total of 8 promotions because of these 2 vacancies. I'm not going to try to say the 8 names because A, I can't remember, and B, I'll screw up the last names. But I look forward to working with the group. And to the men that have been in my office in the last 2 days, signing some early retirement incentives, I congratulate you too. I'm sure we'll have some time and opportunity to celebrate as well. So I truly appreciate the job that each and every one of you do. I've been the town manager for 6 towns now in a 25-year capacity, and there is no doubt that my relationship with Belleville and the admiration I have for you guys is clearly the top. So I think it would probably be most appropriate, if it's okay with Firefighter Sarno, I'd like to end my remarks with a quote of the day. If that's okay. But as the quote of the day is, how's this for an exchange that takes accountability for the world to change? Thank you, Firefighter Sarno, for those powerful remarks.
Thank you, Paul Anthony. Yes. My voice doesn't project. I need the microphone, and I have to read off the paper, sorry. We are here to honor 2 of our very distinguished members of the Belleville Fire Department, Deputy Chief Tim Buckley and Deputy Chief Lutz. I would like to thank you both for your many years of dedication and devotion to the Belleville Fire Department, and to congratulate you on your retirement. I'm going to speak about both of you at the same time, because over the years your careers and accomplishments for the most part have paralleled each other. Both deputy chiefs began their careers 30 years ago when they walked in the fire department in June of 1991. And I know these young handsome fellows don't know that they've been doing anything for 30 years, but they've been here that long. They're both very familiar with the fire department. Prior to becoming full-time, Deputy Chief Lutz served with the Fire Department Auxiliary Unit. And Deputy Chief Buckley, like was mentioned earlier, his dad was a fireman here, so he grew up as a part of the fire department. They both rose through their ranks at just about the same pace, moving from firefighter to lieutenant, to captain, battalion chief, before both moving to deputy chief just about 2 years ago. That was actually, Timmy and I came in just about exactly 2 years from now, and then Marty came a couple months later, mid-2019. All the Belleville Fire Department hierarchy had retired, including our Secretary CLS guy. So as you can imagine, it was a big void to be filled. Chief Buckley and Chief Lutz and I had the good fortune to be placed in their positions. But we knew it was not going to be an easy task. I'd like to say to both of you that I'm very thankful, and I feel very blessed and lucky to have had two very smart and extremely dedicated men to help me navigate the transition. Both of your work ethic and knowledge of the department were tremendously big help. Somehow, even though our personalities might have varied slightly, we seemed to gel and things began to run smoothly in the fire department. Until about a year ago when COVID hit. And just as we were figuring it all out, we were suddenly faced with the whole new list of unknowns. At that time, as a fire department, we needed to come up with new protocols, new procedures, precautions to keep both the community and the department safe. We were responding to calls and transporting patients who had come down with a virus that no one knew much about, and that that forced the whole world into lockdown. We were trying to keep the department safe and trying to go about business as usual if we could. Deputy Chief Buckley and Deputy Chief Lutz never wavered. They put in countless hours to help ensure that the men in the department would continue to operate safely. To top it all, at the time, as was mentioned before, Deputy Chief Lutz was the Township OEM coordinator, and Deputy Chief Buckley, along with Captain Ryder from the police department, served as OEM deputy coordinators. So needless to say, this was an extremely trying time for everyone who had the authority to make decisions that could drastically affect the lives of the public, our family and friends and co-workers. They say, if something is important to you, you find a way. If not, you find an excuse. These two men, for the last 2 years serving as deputy chiefs, never once made an excuse. They have always found a way. They got it done because they care about the department, they take pride in their work, they never make excuses, and they put a tremendous amount of effort into everything they do. That is why they are successful and will be greatly missed. There is no doubt they have earned the position of deputy chief, and they leave big shoes to be filled. I'd like to say again that I've been blessed to have served with you. I want to wish you both many years of luck, health, and happiness in your retirement. Congratulations to you both, and thank you for your 30 years of service with the department. I know this goes without saying, but I want you to remember that you're always welcome here at the Belleville Fire Department, and you'll always be our family. Thank you very much. Deputy Chief Buckley, in recognition of your 29 plus years of dedicated service, we present you with this plaque from the Belleville Fire Department, 1991 to 2000. Deputy Chief Lutz, in recognition of your 29 plus years of dedication and service, I'd like to present you with this plaque. Belleville Fire Department, 1991 to 2000. 2021. I'm going to call Chief Buckley up, say a few words now.
First of all, sit back, relax, smoke them if you got them, because it's going to take a while. I've been practicing this every night for the past 3 weeks in an effort to make sure I don't forget anybody, but also to try not to cry, but obviously that isn't going to work. I have my mother's emotional gene, and it's going to be a shit show. Sorry, Father. Thank you, Chief Olivieri, Mr. Manager, council members, friends, family, double five, for everything. Can't tell you what an honor it is to be sharing this day with this man, Deputy Chief Lutz. Marty and I, don't do it. Marty and I, as the chief said, came on the job together June 18th, 1991. We went through the academy together. Somehow we ended up ambulance partners together. I don't know how that happened.
I can explain that later.
Now let me tell you some ambulance stories. This guy, blood, forget it. Don't go anywhere near it. I'm the guy. And
So he would have you believe.
3 o'clock in the morning, the most miserable mother you'd ever want to meet in your life.
So he would have you believe.
Unless it was a little old Italian lady with a suitcase standing at the corner saying, I need to go to the hospital. And he was like, yes, dear, can we help you? You know?
That's true.
But, you know, one of the best years of my life for sure. And then we studied together. We went to the National Fire Academy together in classes. We always went through the ranks like the chief said together. He always had me by his nose. Go figure.
They get it.
But, truth be told, and all joking aside, Marty, I don't know if you know, but you've been a mentor to me. You challenged me to be a better firefighter, a better officer, and I thank you immensely. And I look forward to many rounds of golf and cocktails in our future. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Dave Murdoch, the man, the myth, the legend. He's retiring with us as well, effective February 1st. You know, every generation of firefighters has those few cast of characters that everybody loves and just does the job right, and you know, just everybody will surely miss. That was Davey. You know, when the shit hits the fan, there's nobody else that you want in that desk besides Davey. Before he was a steady dispatcher, there was nobody else you wanted on a fire ground besides Davey. So unfortunately, he couldn't be here today, but you know, let's applaud Davey. This is my family. My mom, who loved the fire service so much. I'm wearing her pin. The mother's support could not be greater, and she gave me all the support I could ever need and love I could ever need. God bless Mama. To my sister and brother, it was a pleasure sharing my journey with you all these years. You know, you knew the fire service, you knew the people I was talking about, so it was fun sharing my stories with you and my journey, and I thank you for the love and support that you gave me. To my kids, Devin and Rihanna, thank you for your support and acceptance over the years. You know, it goes unsaid how much I appreciate you guys and love you guys. My son Alec, here, Jeremy. To my son Alec, from the day your mother and I knew that we were going to have you, to this very moment, you have been my primary source of inspiration. Everything. I've tried to live my life by setting some sort of example for you, a good example of how hard work and dedication, good studies, can help you achieve the goals that you set. And I know that you can achieve any goal that you set for yourself. I couldn't be more proud of the young man that you've grown up to be. And I look forward to sharing in your journey going forward. To my wife, Judy. Nobody on this earth encourages me more, champions me more, has my back, understands me, knows me better. The love and support that you give me and the encouragement that you give me, I wouldn't be here without you. I wouldn't. And I love you immensely. You are my home, and I look forward to our next chapter. I can't thank you enough for the past 2 years and the many years of service that you provided to this town, and it's been a pleasure working with you and Jeannie. We got into that office together, and somehow we just made it work. We melded and we worked as a team, and it's been an absolute pleasure, so thank you. The members of the Belleville Fire Department, I know I'm going on and on here, guys, but this is my last shot, so. The members of the Belleville Fire Department, those that came before me, those that I had the pleasure to work with throughout the years, my mentors, the guys who led me, the deputy chiefs who retired here, battalion chiefs who retired here, and the firemen that came before that mentored me and taught me, to all these gentlemen standing before you in blue, it's been a privilege to work alongside you day in and day out. I love you all. It's just, this is the greatest job in the world. We always say it, but it is. It's truly the greatest job in the world. Don't take it for granted. In the fire service, we use acronyms all the time. The chief's the king of acronyms. In the fire service, we use acronyms all the time to help, dictate what our tactics and objectives are, what our procedural plans might be. And a few years back, I made up some shirts for Shift 1 when I was a tour commander. And on the back of that shirt, I made up an acronym of PRIDE. P for professionalism. We're a professional organization. We wear the uniform. We're supposed to act in a professional manner, do our job professionally, treat people in a professional manner. R for respect. Respect for ourselves as individuals. Respect for our colleagues, our supervisors, our officers, but most importantly, respect for the people that we are sworn to protect and serve, that we go out there and see on a daily basis. I for integrity. It's the very foundation from which we are built. Company integrity on a fire ground, maintaining the integrity of the fire service, maintaining the integrity of the Belleville Fire Department. It's of utmost importance. And D for duty. We all swore an oath. We all put our hand on the Bible and swore an oath to serve the township of Belleville, the community here, to be a Belleville firefighter. We have a duty to come to work and do our job. And E for excellence. And it's my true belief that if we come to work and act professional and be professional, and we treat people with the respect that they deserve, and we maintain our integrity, and that we do our duty, that we will absolutely achieve excellence. And that's never been more evident than in this past year. The work that you guys did during this pandemic, coming to work every day, not complaining, abiding by the new protocols and rules that we put in place, putting yourselves in harm's way, not knowing what was coming, and exposing your family members and friends at the same time. I couldn't be more proud, and I applaud you. I have one more person I have to thank. And that's my dad. Bill Buckley, the Boz, that was his nickname, Boswell. He was a firefighter here for just about 28 years, township took over. There's not a person on this earth that made more of an impact and influenced me more. I grew up in this firehouse. I grew up in the Belleville Fire Department. I'm 52 years old, going on 53. The Belleville Fire Department's been a part of my life since the day I'm born. I used to come here on my bike as a kid, have lunch with my dad, watch ball games with the guys, baseball games, football games, play ping pong with Rodo and Tommy Lemin when they were on the job when I was just a kid. You know, and I remember thinking back then, man, the culture of this department, the brotherhood, how awesome it is. It's great, you know? But that's not what got me. That's not what made me want to be a firefighter. What made me want to be a firefighter was the level of excitement that my father showed when that bell rang, when I was sitting here having lunch with him. Or when that phone rang, when we were sitting around a table as a family. Back then, when you sat around a table as a family and had dinner, and then the phone rang, you went and grabbed the phone, you grabbed the phone, you had the 50-foot cord, you thought you were cool because you had a 50-foot cord, you could get around the house, you know? And you grab the cord, you grab the phone, and you pick up the phone and says, yeah, it's the fire department, there's Boz there. Yeah, sure. That's the firehouse. Oh, yeah, click, he hangs up the phone. All of a sudden, Dad's tearing ass out of the house, screeching out of the driveway in the car, running to the firehouse to get his gear because they called, the firehouse called, and they got a job and they need manpower. That's what got me. That level of excitement is what inspired me to want to be a firefighter. I remember one time, this is the last story I'll tell, I promise, but one time when I was a kid, getting ready to go play stickball in the parking lot of the DeWitt Savings Bank on Tappan and Floyd. And it was a summer day, it was a weekend, there were no cars in the parking lot, we go to play stickball, and as we're going there, we see that there's a fire at the corner house on that corner, Tappan and Floyd. So we're sitting there watching, me and a bunch of my friends, I couldn't be more than 12 years old. And all of a sudden, I see my dad come out of the side door. And he's got the long coat and the short boots. I don't even think they had hip boots back then. They just had the short boots and the long coat. And he's full of soot, he's sweating. He had the big steel tank on, but he didn't have the mask on. They never wore a mask back then. They just wore tanks. And my friends were all like, wow, there's Mr. Buckley, oh wow. And I'm sitting there thinking, and where's Father? I'm sorry, Father. Right? I'm sitting there, how freaking cool is this? You know? That's my dad. You know? That's what got me. So you guys, the guys in blue, whatever it is that motivates you to come to work every day, to put that uniform on, whether it's the simple desire to serve people and take care of people, or if it's that son or daughter or colleague that you want to set that good example for, or if it's that man that came before you and set the example for you. No matter what it is, let's do this job with pride. Stay well, stay safe.
Well, you're up, Deputy Chief Lutz. Good luck.
Father, fill your ears. How the hell do I follow that? Wow, 30 years. I'm going to try and sum it up a lot less time than 10. I have tea time on February 5th. First, personally, I'd like to thank Chief Olivieri, Township Manager Anthony Iacono, Mayor Melham, who isn't here with us today, the entire Township Council, for affording me the opportunity to serve as a Deputy Chief in this fire department. It's been an honor and a pleasure. I may jump around a little bit. Tim did a lot of stuff that I was going to say about him, so I'm just going to reiterate when I get to him and tell you the truth. But I guess choosing a career began back when I was just a small boy, growing up in the streets of the Vailsburg section in Newark. As many a small child, I too was enthralled with the sight of several trucks driving around the neighborhood. These included dump trucks, ice cream trucks, and of course fire trucks. As you can tell, I'm very happy as I stand here today that I had chosen the latter of the three. And to this moment, I do not have one regret with that choice. Helping making me that decision was on certain days while walking home from Sacred Heart School, I would detour just catty corner and sometimes stop in Newark's Sanford Avenue Firehouse, which has housed engine 26 and ladder 12. But in that house also was my uncle. Firefighter Tom Giardina. Seeing him along with these other big burly guys, mostly smoking cigarettes and cigars, which don't worry, it was okay because don't forget that was the early 70s. Showing me around the house and the trucks, it was safe to say that decision was made back then to follow my uncle's footsteps. My dream came true June 18th, 1991, when I was hired by the Belleville Fire Department. And here I stand, 30 years later, having moved up the ladder to my current position. Becoming an officer was always instilled in my mind, but never so much after September 11, 2001. That day, when cowardly terrorists used commercial jetliners as weapons of mass destruction, just 9.8 miles from where we stand. Killed so many innocent people, including 343 brother firefighters. The studying began, and almost a year to the day later, I received my first promotion to lieutenant. From that day, continuing my education and pursuing other promotion was a priority. As the fire service changes on a daily basis, we must never stop gaining as much knowledge as possible. There's an old saying, train every day like your life depends on it, because it does. I'd like to mention several people who inspired me along the way, including family, my mother, praying to St. Jude every day. But don't worry, my brother took care of the rest. As firefighters, we missed many holidays, ceremonies, you name it, we missed it all. And family gatherings would say, oh, Marty's working again. And, you know, felt bad, but don't worry, my brother was there to say, don't worry. The only job I saw this guy leave this morning with a blanket and pillow to go to. Tim said so much, and I'm just going to try and keep short. But along the way, all the members of the Belleville Fire Department, retired and active. We have a board inside that has members since 1920. Just earlier today, I looked at that board, and I served with 144 different firefighters over my 30 years that walked through these doors, and it's been an honor. Give me a second. I don't even know what this says. Addressing the new officers taking our spots. You got big shoes to fill. But don't worry, we felt the same way when the other chiefs left, and I'm sure the next people taking your positions are going to feel the same way. And to all the members of the Belleville Fire Department, thank you for all you do. It's just an honor and a privilege every day I walk in this building and work with you gentlemen. A few other people, just a couple quick stories. Just a few steps from where we stand, right about over here. We had old truck 6 at the time, and I was on the job not even a year. I was out here one day doing something on that truck. I don't even remember, I was fixing it or cleaning it or something. And a big, early old chief, Deputy Chief Chuck Altenbaugh was my deputy at the time I got on. And he came over and he said, who asked you to do that? And I said, Chief, I just came out here, I saw it needed to be done, and I did it. He says, you know, he goes, that's called self-motivation. He says, and that goes a long way with me. He says, you keep that up, and I'm sure one day you're going to be an officer here. And I never forgot his words. Another gentleman I would like to personally thank, retired Deputy Chief George Pedalino. for mentoring me throughout my entire career, or for giving me and Chief Monahan the answers for the first lieutenant's test. He knows what I'm talking about.
Didn't invite me to that meeting, huh?
Everybody was invited, only 2 people showed up. That's other than. Quick story about Chief Pedalino. It was one of my first real good fires, as we call it. It was down on Terrace Place. I believe he was the captain at the time, and we had a 3-story frame ripping. The building was going pretty good. So the captain, myself, and one of my good friends who's retired, not here today, firefighter Nick Nicoletti, we made the 2nd floor, and we're doing pretty good, knocking down some fire. Things are going okay, and everything's getting good. And all of a sudden, the ceiling comes down on me. I'm laying there like a fish out of water. And he picked me up, he helped me out, and Captain Pedalino says he knows I'm pretty nervous, but he continued to ensure that things will be okay. And at that moment, I'm thinking, boy, did I make a mistake. I should have been an ice cream man. But the funny thing is, we get out, dust me off, we're walking out, everything's okay, and I go and step on a nail, I end up in the ER for a tetanus shot anyway. There's another gentleman in the room, and I'd like to acknowledge, and he's helped me move up through my career, and it goes back to, believe it or not, Chief Mufanizia, Chief of the Bloomfield Fire Department. Believe it or not, years back when I was doing cement work, Lou used to help and mix cement for me. Well, that was it. He must have said, I got to get this guy, and just keep chasing him up the ladder, although he was in a different department. He constantly told me about classes, seminars, amongst many other educational opportunities. 2 of them which really stood out. One, having me attend a class at the National Fire Academy in Emmitsburg, Maryland, which led to several trips down there, attending week-long courses. I highly recommend anyone in their career, if they have the chance to go to that academy, to go and take advantage of it. I still am in contact with chiefs, firemen, and everything from all across the country, including Hawaii. Okay, the others having him tell me to join the New Jersey Deputy Fire Chiefs Association. This is a group of deputy chiefs and battalion chiefs from all over the state. The thing is, this organization was started in the early 90s by Deputy Chief Walkout Belleville, who I spoke about earlier. This was Chuck's baby. He lived for this association and did everything possible to try and make the fire service better and safer for all of us. Since joining, I am now currently the Vice President of that association, which I'm sure Chuck is looking down and very proud. When taking that position, I filled the spot of now Chief of the Newark Fire Department, Chief Rufus Jackson, who said, don't worry, it's easy, you don't do much. Yeah, tell that to Chuck with his Charlie Lynn back there with his emails and his Facebook posts. It's a 3rd job. But getting out to that is, he's one of the last person I wanted to recognize in this room today. Is retired Jersey City Fire Department Battalion Chief Charlie Lynn. He took over that association from Chief Walton about several years ago and is currently the president. Chief Lynn, better known as Cuz. He does a remarkable job working effortlessly to improve the fire safety and education for all the members of the fire service. To see someone still care and take pride and ownership after retirement, the way he does, is nothing less than exceptional. And I'm hoping to have that same passion. And then there's Buck. He kind of covered everything I was going to jot down around here, and I told you some things were true, some weren't.
It was all true.
You know, this goes back to probably 1989 and 1990, the first time I didn't even know Tim. And it was a snowstorm, and we were sitting in Michael's Roscommon house. And there's chitter-chatter going around the bar, and I just came out #1 on the entrance exam. And the guy goes, well, that guy over there says he just came out #1 on the entrance exam. I said, well, he's full of shit. So, long story short, there ended up being 2 lists. One for auxiliaries, which I was part of. The other was the regular list. Tim did come out 1 on that list, but if you put them together, I still blew him away. just going through the ranks, it was a competition, like he said. Anybody knows when you want to be an officer here, you have to give it your all. There's not, I want to go a little bit. You either go full throttle or you don't. Having guys like him, Wentworth, all these chiefs in this room, and Chief Mike Monahan, who I don't think made it here today, it was, you don't want to say competition, but you know you have to do as good as you can. I believe 6 out of 7 promotional exams, I beat Tim, give or take. He did get one, but I said, hey, let me throw him a bone. We spent many a days when we got on down at Jenkinson's Beach. Not that we called out sick from the same phone on some days, but, you know, speculation. He told you stories about the old ladies, how it was miserable on the ambulance. That was just from midnight till 6 in the morning. That happens. One story about Tim, we had a fire on Minker Place one day. We were on the ambulance and we geared up. We get in the job first, we stretch a line in, and the second floor is going. And I'm down at the bottom of the stairs, and I'm just masking up, and he's already up at the top because he's always got to be the first one. He's got to get it done, right? And he says, "You ready? Okay?" I go, "Yeah, I'm ready." Just, you know, start putting my mask on. He opens the lineup, hits his fire, everything comes pouring down, raining down on me. He goes, "You should have been a little faster." But with that, in closing, I would like to finish up with a quote from John Quincy Adams. If your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, you are a leader. I'm hoping I have evoked some of those upon some of you along the way. Thank you all, and God bless all members of the fire service, especially those of the Belleville Fire Department.
Marty and Timmy are talking about the fires they went to 20 years ago. Meanwhile, 2 days ago, they were racing each other out the door with a bell on. I just want to say on behalf of the fire department, again, the council, our councilman, township manager, Paul, and all your friends and family here, I want to say one more time, thank you guys, especially for me, for everything you've done. And we appreciate it and wish you all the best. Thank you very much, Paul.